do I know you? It's been a long time. She made a promise to the one she loved, dead now, but no less. A promise. Not one soul more would suffer as he had. She carries him in her heart. His death, his life, will drive her on.
It's been a long road for Hellblade II, but the wait is finally over. First announced in 2019 after Ninja Theory's acquisition by Microsoft, the lengthy development time and first-party status naturally bring higher expectations, warranted or not. Hellblade 2 mostly delivers an effective follow-up to its groundbreaking predecessor, but it doesn't take enough risks to push things forward.
Just like her mother Galena, she was not like other people. She saw and heard the world differently.
After coming to terms with her past and learning to better navigate the voices in her head, Senua has a newfound purpose in life. With her people being repeatedly abducted by slavers bound for Iceland, she allows herself to be captured in an effort to rescue them. However, a massive storm throws her into the sea, making an already rough situation all the more harrowing as she fights to survive and pick up a trail from the death and wreckage. Her journey to rip the slavers out from their roots finds her in a land racked with fear, from the likes of man-eating Draugr to melancholic giants. The narrative of the original game primarily focused on Senua's isolation and internal struggles with psychosis, and while she's won some of those battles, her past still haunts her. Adding to those challenges, she now finds herself making allies in this new land, some more trustworthy than others, and through her travels, she must prove to them and to herself that she's capable of leading them to a brighter future. The story isn't as intimate as the original game, but its scope and focus on Senua in a different environment adds more layers to an already brilliant character. Melina Juergens is a tour de force who elevates the proceedings to another level with an unforgettable performance. While the story and atmosphere are remarkable, the same can't be said about the gameplay. The environments look gorgeous, but they can sometimes feel restrictive with how simple they are, which is ironic considering the wide vistas of the Icelandic setting. You are almost always walking or jogging forward, getting funneled from one area to the next. Occasionally, there are optional paths that lead to two different types of cryptic, lore-based collectibles. Finding these spots can feel rewarding in itself, but the tales they tell don't add much to the overall narrative.
A shepherd called Glamour was killed by some evil force, found dead in the snow, bloated and black.
Periodically, you do have to solve puzzles to open a way forward. Similar to the previous game, there are times when you have to look for hidden runes in the environment by viewing objects and patterns from the proper perspective. There are other times when you can shift specific bits of the world to build bridges or open pathways, which may sound complicated, but all too often, many of the puzzles tend to solve themselves. The environments and mechanics are so simple that it's almost always apparent what needs to be done, making these tasks seem like a chore rather than a brain teaser, especially when you need to repeat steps to work your way back through an area. Thankfully, combat is visceral and immersive with top-tier animations that emphasize Senua's desperation and ferocity. There's a strong sense of weight that knocks you off balance when you take a hit, and sword strikes crack open flesh like a ripe melon. Mechanically, there are some subtleties that are easy to miss, but it's generally a simple, more grounded approach. Well-timed light attacks can reach your enemy before they have time to react, while heavy attacks can break through an enemy's guard. Dodging and parrying work like you would expect, with a ladder leading to satisfying kills. You also have a magic mirror that can be charged by attacking enemies and then used to slow down time. Learning when to effectively use the mirror can add a tiny bit of strategy to battles, but on the other hand, it can be so effective that you may find yourself avoiding it to preserve a sense of challenge. While the combat is an improvement to the original in some ways, its simple nature only furthers the need for more enemy variety, and the game comes up short in delivering. You face off against a lot of the same enemies with rare shakeups, and tactics don't change much during the 7 to 8 hour journey. Most egregious is that you never fight more than one enemy at a time, and battles all take place in wave-based arenas, making them feel like repetitive routines. Visually, Hellblade II looks absolutely stunning. Characters look and move with lifelike realism, with faces that allow you to peer into the depths of their souls. Torches illuminate the pitch-black dark, while fog and rain beautifully cover the otherworldly Icelandic landscapes. There's no HUD either, with seamless transitions between control and cutscenes that make it easy to get fully immersed in the saga. Audio is also a huge part of this series, and it dramatically envelops you in how Senua perceives the world, with the voices in her head constantly commenting on the proceedings. They can talk a lot, but when you settle into the narrative, it remains a uniquely harrowing experience.
So deep and dark. It is trying to claim us, trying to take you down with it.
Senua's Saga Hellblade II is a worthy but familiar follow-up to the groundbreaking original. Incredible visuals and a legendary performance from Melina Juergens do much of the heavy lifting, but in some ways, it feels safe and plodding, with a surprisingly slow pace despite its fairly short runtime. Facing Senua's insecurities and experiencing her growth remains a defining factor, but it feels less potent now, while simplistic exploration and repetitive combat hold it back from greatness. Hopefully we haven't seen the last of Senua, because she deserves much more.
You should not have come here, child.
Final score, 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching our review. We're Easy Allies. We've been writing about games for decades, and we also do podcasts, streams, shows, and more, all funded by regular viewers just like you. Head over to patreon.com/easyallies to pitch in and get rewards. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay connected on YouTube. See you soon.